Guys, so today we'll be discussing about Spiti Valley in the month of November in the year 2024. What is the weather going to be like, the accessibility, the clothing that you need, the road condition, and most of all, should you be visiting Spiti Valley in November? So when it comes to the weather conditions, keep in mind that Spiti Valley it's winter in November and expect it to be extremely cold all day. The daytime temperature can range anywhere between minus 5 to 10 degrees. You heard me correct. It can be anywhere between minus 5 to 10 degrees C. The night temperature will be anywhere between minus 10 to minus 20 degrees C. So keep in mind that the month of November is a time for people who can bear extreme cold. If you're a first time traveler to the Himalayas, winter Spiti is not for you. Spiti in winter is not for most people. It's only for the people who can actually have a very strong threshold for cold, because no matter how many layers of clothing you carry, no matter how mentally tough you are, this is the kind of place which can literally break you down if you are not ready, because there are going to be a lot of hassles and hazards along the way in terms of the vehicle having to stop because there's too much of snow. There might be times where the vehicle just can't move ahead, or the vehicle might just not start in the morning. So be prepared for a lot of ups and downs on this journey, and the weather is the main cause of all of this. When it comes to snowfall is expected in higher altitude places like Langza, Tabo, Dankar, Kaza, Key Monastery. So you'll actually get to see a white Spiti. Now when it comes to accessibility, Spiti Valley in November is only accessible via the Kinnaur route. It is not accessible via the Manali Kunzumla route, because that road shuts with the snowfall and it becomes impossible to drive through that road. So via the Shimla route, passing through Kinnaur, the road is accessible throughout the year, and even in the month of November the road is clean and clear to go up to. So that's the only way in and out of Spiti Valley in the month of November. Now when it comes to the places that you can visit most places, but accommodation in most of these places in the villages will be shut because of extreme cold. The reason these accommodations in the villages are shut is not because they don't want people, it's because the water pipes freeze and there is no way to provide you with any kind of service that you need in terms of water, even for the washroom or even water to wash your face, because whatever water they have is limited for their own personal usage. Hence, when you're traveling to Spiti Valley in the month of November, your best options of stay is either Tabo or Kaza, with Kaza being the most preferred option. Remember that Chandrata Lake is also not possible in the month of November because the road is cut off because of heavy snowfall. The maximum that you can go up to is maybe the village of Chicham. That is the Kibar Chicham bridge is your final point, because beyond that it makes no sense. You can end up getting stuck if it snows very heavily. It will become very difficult to track back. Now, what are the health precautions that you need to keep in mind? See, acute mountain sickness is a real problem in the winter. So before you go on a trip to Spiti in winter, no matter how fit you feel you are, go and do a medical checkup, because you do not know what can come up, and you don't want to be falling sick in Spiti Valley. It's the last place on earth that you'd want to fall sick in winter. When it comes to what you need to carry layers of clothes, and 1 or 2 jackets are not going to suffice. You need to carry at least 3, and each of different temperature ranges. A sleeping bag is an absolute must, and a sleeping bag of at least minimum minus 5 degrees is what is recommended. You need to have really good hiking boots. Shoes are not going to suffice because it's going to be so cold that you might end up even getting frostbites. You need to carry woolen socks, and at least a couple of them, because if the socks get wet, they're not going to dry up in this temperature. Then you need to have really good UV protected sunglasses, and I would personally recommend you to carry at least 1 extra spare set, so that if one gets spoiled or gets lost, you have a backup, because snow blindness is a very high possibility without glares. Then what else do you need? You need to not have a bath in Spiti Valley for the entire trip, because having a bath will result in you falling sick, and with you falling sick you'll become a baggage for the rest of the travelers. And if you fall sick in this altitude, there is no way you can get back to PO, which is the closest place for a decent hospital. So the probability of you surviving is very low. So do not have a bath. Not having a bath will prevent you from falling sick. You can always come back to Shimla or go back to Delhi and have a bath. It's not going to matter, because your life is more important than having a bath. What are the pros of visiting Spiti Valley in November? It's a great time for photography, but keep in mind that you need to carry at least two power banks because electricity can be up and down during winter. So it's important to have power backup, otherwise, you'll not be able to click photographs. You can't rely on the vehicle because you'll drain the, imagine 10 or 12 people charging their batteries with their phone and the camera batteries through the car charger. The car will run out of battery. So don't do that. Just carry at least a couple of power banks of 10,000 mAh, which should suffice. Also carry a hiking pole because it can get extremely difficult to walk also in the snow. So having a hiking pole will come really handy. Carry a toilet roll because it comes handy for both ways, because you'll definitely end up with running nose, and it comes handy that time. It comes handy to wash your backside, and it also comes handy to wipe your hands after eating something. Now when it comes to money matters, you need to carry a lot of cash, because no matter, even if your trip is providing everything, you do not know why you'll need money. And you might say that UPI works everywhere, which it does, but if there's a network outage, or if by chance it's not working at that particular moment, you'll be stuck and stranded. So it's better to carry cash. You can always take the cash back home and use it at home or deposit it back in the bank. But for a 1 week or a 8-day trip, I would personally recommend carrying at least 10,000 cash with you, so that worst case scenario, you can spend cash, and use the cash only when your UPI is not working. Otherwise, don't use it. Over and above this, Spiti Valley in November is a time when I would personally say, for people who are looking for a second time visit to Spiti Valley, who have already done it in September, in the summer, know what the weather like in summer is, know what the terrain is like, and have already a fair idea what the place is. If you're a first timer visiting Spiti Valley and you're thinking that winter is the perfect time to go, you're wrong. It can be really dangerous for your health. So if you're someone who's hellbound on going there, I hope this video has helped you. If you have any queries or doubts, you can leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll be happy to help you. Till then, stay safe, stay happy, and do a lot of research before you end up going. And don't forget going to a doctor, because that's very important before a trip to Spiti Valley in winter.